Imagine you're a chef in a busy restaurant, and you need to manage different menus for various events. You have a menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each menu has its own set of dishes. Similarly, in the world of DevOps, we have different environments like development, staging, and production, each with its own set of configurations. Terraform workspaces are like a kitchen where you can manage all these environments efficiently. In this tutorial, we'll explore how to use Terraform workspaces for a multi-environment setup. We'll learn why it's essential to have separate environments and how Terraform workspaces can help us achieve this. Terraform workspaces are like a library where you can store different books, each representing a separate environment. Just like how you wouldn't mix your favorite novel with a cookbook, you wouldn't want to mix your development environment with your production environment. Terraform workspaces allow you to create separate environments, each with its own set of configurations. This is useful because you can test your changes in a development environment before deploying them to production. Think of it like a dress rehearsal before the actual performance. You can make mistakes, learn from them, and improve without affecting the actual show. Terraform workspaces also help with collaboration, as different team members can work on different environments without interfering with each other. It's like having multiple kitchens, each with its own team of chefs, working on different menus. Let's take a look at the architecture diagram. We have our Terraform configuration files, which are like the recipes in our kitchen. These files define the infrastructure we want to create. We then have our Terraform workspaces, which are like the different kitchens where we can prepare our dishes. Each workspace has its own set of configurations, which are like the ingredients and cooking instructions for our recipes. The Terraform state file is like the kitchen's inventory, keeping track of what we have and what we need. The Terraform backend is like the restaurant's supply chain, providing us with the necessary resources to create our dishes. Before we start, you'll need to have Terraform installed on your machine. Terraform is like a kitchen tool that helps us create and manage our infrastructure. You'll also need to have a Terraform backend configured, which is like the restaurant's supply chain. This will provide us with the necessary resources to create our infrastructure. Don't worry if you're new to Terraform, we'll walk through the installation and configuration process. Now, let's compare Terraform workspaces with other environment management tools. Terraform workspaces are like a Swiss Army knife, providing us with a flexible and efficient way to manage our environments. Other tools might be like a single-purpose kitchen gadget, doing one thing well but not providing the same level of flexibility. When to use Terraform workspaces? When you need to manage multiple environments with different configurations. When to use other tools? When you have a simple environment setup with minimal configurations. Let's create a new Terraform workspace. This is like opening a new kitchen, where we can start preparing our dishes. We'll use the Terraform CLI to create a new workspace. Think of it like unlocking a new kitchen, where we can start cooking. We'll then initialize our Terraform configuration, which is like setting up our kitchen with the necessary tools and ingredients. Now that we have our Terraform workspace created, let's configure it. This is like setting up our kitchen with the necessary recipes and ingredients. We'll define our infrastructure using Terraform configuration files, which are like our recipes. We'll then apply our configuration to our workspace, which is like cooking our dishes. Let's walk through the process flow. We start by creating a new Terraform workspace, which is like opening a new kitchen. We then initialize our Terraform configuration, which is like setting up our kitchen with the necessary tools and ingredients. Next, we define our infrastructure using Terraform configuration files, which are like our recipes. We then apply our configuration to our workspace, which is like cooking our dishes. Finally, we verify our infrastructure, which is like tasting our dishes to ensure they're delicious. Let's verify our infrastructure in the console. We can use the Terraform CLI to check the status of our workspace. Think of it like checking the status of our dishes in the kitchen. We can see if our infrastructure is created and if it's running smoothly. We can also check the Terraform state file to see the current state of our infrastructure. Sometimes, we might encounter issues when working with Terraform workspaces. One common issue is when we forget to switch to the correct workspace. This is like trying to cook a dish in the wrong kitchen. Another issue is when we have conflicting configurations. This is like having two different recipes for the same dish. To fix these issues, we need to make sure we're in the correct workspace and that our configurations are consistent. In summary, we've learned how to use Terraform Workspaces for a multi-environment setup. We've created a new Terraform workspace, configured it, and applied our Terraform configuration. We've also verified our infrastructure in the console. Terraform workspaces are like a kitchen where we can manage our environments efficiently. By using Terraform workspaces, we can test our changes in a development environment before deploying them to production. This helps us catch errors and improve our infrastructure. With practice, you'll become a master chef in managing your environments. Subscribe for daily in-depth DevOps tutorials explained in simple terms.